His way every day.
Welcome to YahWay 365, where we proclaim the greatness of God in Christ-like living. This is episode 3 of What's Your Story? Welcome back to YahWay 365. We got a special guest with us here tonight. Go on, brother. Go on and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. It's the one, the only Coach Flo. If you're new to just on here, my name is Jeremy Flanoy, but I go on my channel as Coach Flo. My brand is Generational Investors. Okay, so Generational Investors, and I'm excited to be on this show. It's been a privilege to be on here, and I want to for those who don't know who I am and what I do, I'm a coach at Crosby Middle School. I coach basketball, football, track. I teach 7th grade social studies, and it's just been an amazing experience these last few years to influence and show the next generation how to be successful and what that looks like, because everybody don't have examples or haven't seen examples. Okay, so I'm excited that I got the experience and to be in a place of influence. All right, so I don't take that for granted. And so I picked up investing back in 2020. Okay, this was not growing up. It was not a thing that was taught to me. This was not something that, it was foreign at first. The whole investing world. Okay, I was good with finances and savings. I always thought about, okay, you just should save money. So when you get birthdays, when you get your allowance, or you have a job, just save money. So that was always the thing. Get money, save money. You can spend a little bit of money, but it's saving. So it wasn't until really 2020, because prior to 2020, I always had older men say, hey, you should get into the investment game. You should get into the stock market. Okay. All that. And I was like, but how? I kept on saying, but how? But 2020 happened. It was the pandemic. And when everybody couldn't do nothing but stay at home, watch Zooms and Netflix. And so God spoke to me. 2020, it's like around early in the morning, like 4:00. And it was time. It was like, okay, now's the time. I said, okay, so I'm gonna just act upon it, be obedient, and just have faith. And all the different apps that are free, you don't have to pay anything, but you just download them. All those apps that I was hearing about, most of those apps I already had on my phone at the time. And so I just created an account. I fund my account and just had just a little bit of money, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna just go with Robinhood. I've been hearing different things about Robinhood. That's pretty popular. And so just tapped into Robinhood, bought really my first stock. I forgot what it was, but my first stock. And I was like, okay, so that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, that's how it's supposed to go. Thinking that it was gonna be really hard and complex. It was just, you purchase a share of whatever company and just buy it. And I said, okay, and you can do it as little as $5. Okay. I said, okay, this is not rocket science. And so the more I start educating myself, the more I start to read, the more I start to get on YouTube and look at different types of influencers who's been in the stock market game for years, I started taking mental notes, and start looking at different type of companies that I can make money in. And so going from just 2020, having my, at that time, job, it was paying little, but enough so I can start to, get my feet wet with the investment game. And so a few months later, I got me a new job, got a little bit more of a raise. And I said, Actually, now I'm finna buy a whole share of my first stock, which is Apple. I'm just gonna buy a whole, and I was like, okay, now we kind of getting somewhere with this now. They're able to just purchase a share of Apple. And at the time, with what happened with the pandemic, everything that up to this day that I bought, whatever, I'm up. Okay, so all these stocks and shares I bought, all those was like cheap because everything, you couldn't do nothing but, like I said, be on Zooms and watch Netflix. Okay, so everything just was plummet, everything dirt cheap. So I started just buying certain things and certain shares, certain companies. And so started just educate myself, a little bit more. And just getting familiarized with buying low, selling high, all those type of terms, and just getting more and more information. Fast forward, we're talking about last year in 2023, with all the information I've learned from 2020 up to 2023, I said, people were saying, you know what, you should start a channel. My brother, other close friends, and just family just give me that urge and that nudge to just, start a channel and say, you know what, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start a channel and see what happens. Take a leap of faith. What's the worst happen? And so started a channel of last year and just got my feet wet. At first it was kind of weird, a little nervous, but I was like, you know what? If I can help people with how to be educated with financial literacy and how to invest and how to be better with their finances, okay, that was really one of my aiming points. And being a young man, young African-American man, and feeling that need to help the next generation. Because I was trying to figure out, okay, once I start this channel, what I'm gonna even call it. So God gave me generational. Okay. And then the investor part, I'm an investor, a long-term investor. I can and have traded some stocks, but I'm more of a long-term investor, stocks and crypto. But generational really stood out to me because what I've learned is generational is 30 years. That means that 30 years, another generation comes behind. And then another generation after those 30 years come behind. And so generational carries weight. And so with the next generation behind me and my son and his kids, when he had kids in the near future, is creating generational wealth. Okay, we talk about it on my channel and I believe in it, but what does that look like? Well, creating generational wealth is creating generational spirituality, being physically, having a good health, mind, body, and soul. All that is generational. Most people think about finances, but it also, your health is wealth. So if your health is right, then at the end of the day, then everything else is gonna follow suit. But let's take it a little step further. God is always, in his word says, seek first the kingdom. So if you seek him first, then he gonna give you everything that you ever wanted to desire for. So just putting all that in perspective, that is a combination of what generational investors is all about. So I take what God gives me, certain scriptures or any types of special, what he reveals to me, and I try to incorporate that into my financial teachings. Okay, so, and using life applications. And all my stuff that I talk about, try to keep it just real, layman terms, because I know we have a lot of new investors out here, those who want to get into the investment game and thinking that it's really hard, and it's really not. But I try to just really keep it simple. And then I just say, hey, the more you study, the more you invest in yourself, whether that's your time, talent, and treasure, that's where that passive, and that's where that residual, that's where that generational and that financial freedom, that's where it's going to come down to. Okay. So, generational investor is really creating a army, and I'm building up an empire that God is going to really change the next generation. So my main thing is, and I got it on my mantra, is to really transcend, to educate, and just really empower. Okay. And so God has really have done some renewing, transforming things these last few years. I mean, it's really been a journey from 2019, 2020, all the way up to this point. It's been some peaks, it's been some valleys, it's been some ups, it's been some downs, but he is so faithful. He is so faithful, and I'm just excited to see where the next 5-10 years is going to go, because I do believe that the best is really in front of us. I believe that the latter is going to be better than your former. And so I just really want to encourage everyone on the sound of my voice, really, God is faithful. God will provide, regardless of whatever you're going through. And he just really wants your heart. At the end of the day, he really wants your heart. And it starts with your finances. It starts with good stewarding. All those things that God really wants. Okay. So if you desire to become financially free, if you desire to travel the world, if you desire to have a good relationship and a healthy marriage and a good business and be a business owner, all that is possible. All that's possible. All things are possible. That's what the word says. And so, but I just want to encourage you, like, really do a self-examination, do an evaluation of what God will do and what he can do. And he will not fail you. People might fail you, but he is always there, and he is never too late to change. And it's never too late to start saving. It's never too late to start investing. Okay. It is never too late. Some people are like, oh, I'm too old, or, I don't have enough money. You are never too old. And you can just start as little as $5, start as little as $10. And if you be consistent over time and be just good steward with what he's giving you for that season, for that period, you will be surprised and shocked from where you started at to where you're going to go if you put your trust in him and you surround yourself with the right people, the right team, the right environment. All right. It's nothing like the right energy. And God is in the blessing business. Like, he is really in the blessing business, and he wants us to prosper. He says he comes to give us life. Okay. And it's more abundant. It's overflow. So I just want to encourage you. And like I said, I am Coach Flo, the generational investor. Please pray. Continue to stay motivated. Continue to stay positive. My phrase I always end with, no matter what they say, don't worry about what they say, because you're going to have haters. Okay, you're going to have haters. But just because you haven't seen it happen before, don't mean it can be done. And it can happen through who? You. I'll see you in the next one.